Hello, I'm Kim, and you're at Kim's Cozy Corner, and we are back in my indoor grow space, and we are getting ready to do a harvest. And we're going to harvest some things that we've never harvested from the indoor grow space. And that includes potatoes that are growing behind me, as well as some peppers. Stay tuned, come along, and let's do some harvesting. It's finally the time that we've been waiting for. We have a couple of things that we've never harvested before in our indoor grow space. And one of those are those red peppers that you see behind me there. You see that red pepper up there? We're going to harvest those red peppers. We're going to harvest some tomatoes, which we have harvested tomatoes before, but we will harvest tomatoes and the big one. And I don't know how this is going to turn out, but this is the big one. I have potatoes behind me, and there's 3 containers of potatoes. 2 of them have been going roughly 100 days. The exact time that they have been in the ground, I'll put it on the screen here. They have been doing their little magic under the ground now for some time, and we're going to go ahead and pull them out. They're starting to look a little rough behind me, but the only reason I think they're looking a little rough is I stopped watering them. And I did that on purpose. So let's turn around. Let's take a good look at what's going on back there. So in the very back, that's one container. And then there's another container right here. And there's still some fresh greens on this container here. But the one in the very back's looking pretty ragged. But I stopped watering them about a week ago because I knew that I was going to harvest these potatoes. If I had continued to water, I believe they would still look like this beautiful plant right here that's trying to put flowers on, which means I have potatoes, new potatoes forming in this particular container. But my issue is I need this space. I have seedlings I need to start, and I need to get my seedlings on the shelf, and I can't do that with these potatoes in this space here. So the potatoes got to come out. They got to come out. So we are going to get those pulled from out the back, and we're going to have to cut them out. They're growing in between my shelving. So they start down here, and then they're going up through the shelving right here, and they're trying to go up through the shelving on the next layer as well. That's taking away major seed starting space for me. So they got to come out. We will work on those second. The first thing we're going to do, we're going to get these peppers out. So let's swing over and look at the peppers. Now, I've been talking about this particular GreenStalk grow space for a minute now. I brought this particular planter indoors at the end of 2023 season in an attempt to overwinter the peppers in this particular GreenStalk. But not only have we overwintered, but we have been growing peppers. This is a Jimmy Nardello here. This is a paprika, I believe. And we're going to harvest a few peppers today. I have some green ones as well, but we won't be harvesting those. I have some more green ones over there. We're going to wait for those to turn red. There's some green ones way in the back here as well, but we're not going to harvest any of the green ones. We're only going to harvest the red ones. And I had someone say you couldn't grow peppers in green stalks, and here's an example of where I am not only growing peppers, but I overwintered them and brought them indoors, and I'm continuing to harvest from peppers that I started in May of 2023. And at the very tippity top, I have some tomatoes, and I started these tomatoes outside, I believe in September of last year, and I brought them indoors, and we're going to harvest all of these tomatoes as well. So we're going to go ahead and get started with those peppers and tomatoes. I'll be right back. Now, the last time I did this, I was stepping on my green beans and a few other things. So I made myself a little more room so we can get in here and start harvesting these tomatoes first. These are Tiny Tim tomatoes. Last time I think I only got to harvest like 3 or 4 because I ate most of them. But today we definitely have a larger harvest. They're coming in. Tiny Tims are micro dwarf tomatoes. They only get about a foot tall unless you're growing them in hydroponics. And then for me, they're about 18 inches tall back there. But they stay short, and so they grow really nicely in the green stalks. You can even grow the micro dwarf tomatoes in the leaf planter, which is a 7-inch pocket versus a 10-inch pocket. So that's always an option as well. Now, some of these aren't quite ripe yet. They're an orange color versus a deep red for the Tiny Tims. Tiny Tims should be red, so we will leave those. And we will move over to the orange hat. Orange hat tomatoes are orange, as the name states. A nice orange color there. They're not as far along as the Tiny Tims. Our tiny tomato harvest, but it's enough for a snack. Now I'm going to move right on down to these peppers next. These are paprika peppers that I started in my indoor grow space about a year ago. And I transplanted them outdoors in May of 2023. And they're happy. And they put fruit on, and all I wanted them to do was survive, but they put fruit on, so we are harvesting that fruit today. These are Jimmy Nardellos, which is a frying pepper. Now let me go back to these paprika peppers. These paprika peppers do not taste like your paprika powder, the sweet paprika powder you get in the grocery store. No, these got a little spice to them. So make sure you understand that before you bite into it, because you don't want to be assaulted by a pepper. So these are paprika peppers, and they do have a mild heat to them. Now you can use them to make paprika powder, but you might want to add in some bell pepper or a sweeter pepper, mix it in with it if you want more of that sweetness to come out. And I have a purple one here somewhere. I have a purple baby bell. Let me go get it. Now this little purple pepper isn't going to get any bigger than this. Now when I was outside, they were at least, 2 or 3 inches. This one, I don't know why, it's teeny tiny, but it's ready, it's soft, and we're going to add it to the number. So that's the peppers and tomatoes. I think I got a few green beans too. Let's grab those. And then we'll get to those potatoes. I know that's what you want to see, but I want to get the rest of this done so when we get done with the potatoes, we can see it all. So this is my roughly 1 square foot of peppers. I harvested on them, has it been a week? Maybe a week ago. And there were a few that I couldn't harvest, very few, because I stepped on my peppers. And so they're trying to get healthy again. I probably lost, I don't know, 6 or more peppers when I stepped on them. I mean, completely obliterated the plants. But I'm starting to see a few blooms, so they're trying to get themselves back together. I did weigh the beans last time, but I think I forgot to add it to the video. Actually, I'm pretty sure I forgot to add it, but it was just a handful. It was just a few ounces of green beans that I had from this particular planter. Our goal, or what we're striving for, is to be able to harvest at the end of the day about 6 pounds off of here. And we had a slow start. I had poor germination. I actually had almost no germination on the first beans that I put in here. I replaced them with Landreth green beans, which were healthy. They're happy. They're doing their thing. And then I stepped on them. But we're going to keep track. We're going to see just how many beans we get on these before they peter out on me. Now, bush beans don't go on forever. They put all of their fruit on over a short period of time, and then they call it quits. Where your pole beans, so your pole green beans, they will produce fruit all season long. So we'll see how we do on these. We'll see. Now I am picking a few beans off of my GreenStalk as well. They were damaged from me spinning my GreenStalk because I had it so close to the peppers. And I set it up that way because I was just trying to overwinter the peppers. I didn't know they were going to start flourishing in my indoor grow space. And so I had this planter too close. And as I spin the planters around, um, I was breaking the beans off and they just weren't happy at all. So they're kind of bent over the edge. And most likely, I'm going to eventually pull these out and put something else in. Next time, right, you live and you learn, right? Next time, I will put my little trellising up, which will hold the beans up to keep them from hitting the side, the lip of my GreenStalk. But for now, I'm going to take any of the blessings that are giving to me, and we're still going to call that a win. And I only had 3 pockets in the GreenStalk, and they were, I don't even know, what did I put in here? There's no tag, but they're yellow, so I'm going to assume they're a wax bean. I'll put the name right here because I don't remember. Top notch, golden wax, something, but the name will be right here if you're interested in a wax bean. They're yellow in color. Now, oh, let me show you what I got. I think I dropped some. So there's the teeny harvest, but I could make a meal out of this, y'all. Now it's time for these potatoes. And I'm going to have to make some room, and I'm going to have to do some construction on this space here. I have a mini project just getting it out of this space. So I'll leave the camera on. I'll bring you with me. It might be some shenanigans, y'all. Just don't laugh too hard. I'm not sure what we're going to get in to try to pull these plants out so that we can get those potatoes harvested. And I'm going to be honest with you, I'm a little nervous. I'm a little nervous. I know there are potatoes in there because I dug down, I found one, but that might be the only potato. I don't know. We'll see when we get into there, into the space here, but we'll get to that next. Okay, I think I'm set up, and this is honestly probably the best light that I'm going to get. Um, this is usually where I put my potting mix when I'm potting up plants. Um, I have some old stuff in here that's composting, a little bit of potting mix. It's dry, completely dry, but we are going to go through our potatoes in this bin here. So we will start with, let's start with this one. I have no idea what's in this one. The other one, at least I knew there's one potato. I have no idea what's in this one. Now, the potatoes that I used were from last year's garden, so I didn't buy seed potatoes. I used my own potatoes. I see one potato on the side here. I don't know if you can see it. There's a potato. Ah, there was one on this side too. Let me try to bring you in close. You don't need to see my face. Let's look at the potato harvest. That might be the only two potatoes. All right, so let's start with this one. Look at that. And the skins are very tender, and they always are when you're pulling them out, so you have to be careful. There's another. And again, I have no idea what I'm going to get. I had no idea how long I needed to even leave them in here since they're growing indoors versus outdoors. I just didn't want to run out of potatoes. And look, I didn't. Oh, yes. This is good. This is really good. Oh, that one's a bit ugly, but there are potatoes in here. I was so concerned that there wouldn't be any potatoes. Oh, they're just falling out. And it looks like I left them in just long enough. I don't see a whole bunch of little baby potatoes that want to start growing. So I think I did this. I did it right. I did it right. There's the mushy seed potatoes. Ugh, I hate the seed potatoes. They're so mushy. And it looks like there were 3 seed potatoes in here. I think that's it. I'm saying 3 because it looks like there's 3 mushy potatoes over there. Is it a huge harvest? No. But there is a harvest. Look at that. Now these are all white potatoes, so and I didn't see any red foliage, so I'm going to assume they were all white potatoes in this one to begin with. So let's get the foliage out. And now we'll move to the other container, which I know there's at least 1 potato in it. So let's get that one next. Whoa. Well, there's definitely potatoes in here. Let's see if I can turn it around so you can see it. So there's a little pink potato there. But on this side, oh, they're falling out. You're not going to be able to see it. There's a nice size one there. And there's a little bitty one that was falling out here. And this is probably the one that I reached down and I harvested. And this is a decent sized potato. Look at this. This is either a Yukon Gold or a Prairie Blush because I see these little pink splotches right around where the eyes would be. Again, all from my 23 harvest. So this is like a self-sufficient type deal. So I didn't have to buy these. This little pink one is a Sharpomera. I know for sure it is because of the shape of it and the color. And they didn't grow well for me in the garden, but I will. Oh my goodness. Oh, look, you can't see it. They're big. They're falling out the middle. Look at this. Okay. All right. This is the biggest indoor potato I've ever grown. Oh my goodness. There's another Sharpomera. Okay. All right. I know I get a little excited about this, y'all, but I love to grow. I love to see nature at work. And okay, so there are quite a few baby ones on this one here. At some of these, like this one right here, this one could have went a lot longer. They are really starting to try to grow, whereas some of the other ones were finished growing. Some Purple Majesty, I think is what this is called here, and it's tiny, but that's okay. The white potatoes took over. And I did mix in early and late and mid-season potatoes all together, so that's okay. That's okay. We got potatoes, y'all. In my indoor grow space, we have potatoes. Okay, that's a seed potato. This seed potato is completely used up all of its energy. Y'all, we got potatoes. I don't think y'all understand how excited I am. I didn't expect this at all. But 100 days, roughly. Y'all, we have potatoes from an indoor grow space. I grew those potatoes right back there, right back there. For 100 days indoors, I have at least 2, maybe 3 meals, depending on how I'm going to prepare the potatoes for a family of 4. But look at these. I'm so excited. And this is just 2 containers. And for these containers, I only filled them up about half full because I knew I didn't have a lot of space. So I only filled them up about half full. So, and this is heavy. I will get the weight and I will put the weight right here. So this is how much these potatoes weighed from 2 containers. I should have done them separately, but I didn't. But from 2 containers, here's the weight. And y'all look, these are my potatoes. I am super, super ecstatic about indoor potatoes. Now we got to figure out how good they taste. That's today's harvest. I hope you enjoyed the video. If you did, give me a thumbs up and consider subscribing to the channel. I am indoors now, but we will be heading outdoors really soon. That's why I needed those shelves. We got to get the seeds started for everything that's going to be in the outdoor garden. So until next time, and I hope there will be a next time that you come back to Kim's Cozy Corner. Bye.